Well, speaking of raising money, am I right to say that you've raised over £150,000?
Yeah. So yes. Last I checked, when I added it together. Over the last 2 years. It's interesting though, because it doesn't feel like that. But then the other day I had to actually add it up because I needed to know how much was left of our SEIS, which is a scheme the government has set up that allows UK-based angel investors to get half their money back that they've invested to encourage angel activity. So I needed to figure out how much we had left. So I was like, let me actually add up how much we've taken. But it doesn't feel like that because when you do a rolling round, we didn't do a round whereby you announce it, you take the money, and then you plan your runway. Because again, I guess it's a different topic, but raising funds is hard, and then raising funds as a black founder is a little bit harder.
Yeah, I've heard.
100%.
Yeah.
So for us, we did a rolling round, and Demi knows this, about the struggles of, bro, I'm waiting on a check, So yes, we've raised over 150k, but it doesn't feel like that because by the time the money comes in, it's already allocated for.
Yeah.
So by the time the check comes, it's not even in the bank. It's not in the bank for like more than 2 weeks. We've planned ahead. There's things people are waiting on, so it lands and it goes. It lands and it goes.
Yeah.
But hopefully with this seed round, when we announce a round, we close it and we actually have the runway for the 18 to 24 months before we need to go again. So yeah, we have.
Okay. So yeah, that's amazing. Raising over 150k. Just to like hone in on that point.
Yep.
Obviously, you said you're a black founder. You guys are black men going out trying to promote your business and do your thing. So what is it like being a black man trying to do this in a Western city like London?
What's it like? I think, as I said, like fundraising is difficult. Is difficult. No founder will tell you that fundraising is easy. But it's not easy. But do I enjoy it? I think I do enjoy fundraising. Actually, in hindsight, I do enjoy it. It's not easy, but then I think, I enjoy it, but it's not easy. But then I think that added layer of being a black man in London or being an ethnic minority founder, period, as most things, is a little bit more difficult, right?
Yeah.
So how's it been? I think, you know what, I'll be honest. I'm going to be really honest about this. Like, you tend to get a lot of the angry mob mentality where it's like, I'm a black founder and it's so hard and nobody wants to give me the time of day, blah, blah, blah. But I'll be honest in saying, the more we've crystallized and understood what exactly our value prop has been and will be and where we're going and how we're getting from point A to B very clearly, we've actually found it a little bit easier to convert checks. So I think that's actually something a lot of founders should try and take on. If you've actually done the work and actually, again, I'm not saying that because some people do the work and still find it hard to raise. So I'm not going to I won't phrase it like that. But the more your value prop is clear and the more you've done the homework and you've done the research, you'd actually find less pushback. So for us, as we've gotten on and we've gotten a more clear story and everything has come together better, whether it's the forecast or the pitch deck or the act or the art of pitching, it's easier to raise funds.
Yeah.
So I think for us, in terms of who we've got currently that we've raised funds from, we have a VC on there. We have Ada Ventures on there. We've got angels such as Maisie Williams, who the actress from Game of Thrones, and then we've got majority of our round has actually been family and friends, which I'm so really really grateful for. Because it's my boys and my girls, I guess, that I've grown up with, who've always known that I've been interested in this, who've seen me grind and who've written a check because they're like, I believe in you and I want to see you do this. So and so a lot of the times when people speak about like my cap table is like 50% women and 50% black, like right now our cap table is pretty much 90% black and like probably like 60% male and 40% female. So it's really good as of now as a pre-seed company. Let's see what that looks like when we raise our seed.
Excellent. And Tony, what about you? I would like some insight into how it's been as a black founder. I know you have started Nomad Bank at 22 was it that you started?
When we started, I think, the idea we started at 19. Well, I started at 19 and then closed our first round when I was 21. And then the rest of the team were 23 and 24 at the time.
That's amazing. A bank at 19. Like, how did you go about thinking I want to start a bank, and what are the difficulties you faced over the years?
How do you think about starting it? Probably just being irrational. No, I think it was just seeing a need. I just come off the back of like a summer internship at Goldman Sachs.
Yeah.
I learned a lot. There was things I didn't like, but I thought there was a really key opportunity to just help finance small businesses coming out of the content like Jendaya, like the ones we're building. And I think it actually kind of feeds into the question you're asking about the experience of being a Black founder. It was a big belief that like we have so much in our culture, so much on our continent, but like the capital doesn't flow to the people that need it to start ideas.
Yeah.
And so for us, it was kind of being the ones to kind of break our heads to start an institution that could then finance those organizations. I think like, as he said, like it's unique and everybody has a unique story and path to fundraising. I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs. My parents are entrepreneurs. My grandfather is. So like, I've always loved the entrepreneurial journey. I love the fundraising process. Like I think I'm the weird person that like enjoys it, but like, as he said, rejection is just part of the game.
Yeah.
And you know, probably expect to like get 20 no's for every yes. Like that's a good stat to look for. So if I'm looking for 5 people in my seed round, 5 large funds in my seed round, I know like my spreadsheet needs to have 100. And when I was trying to start our seed round, I remember like I'd send emails out to people and like be hopefully expectant, and within 20 minutes, sometimes I get emails back with people saying, hey, not a great fit for us. I'm like, bro, it's been 20 minutes. Like, how do you even know it's not a good fit in 20 minutes? But you learn to not take it personally because like you have to be the keeper of the vision as well.
Yeah.
Like that's the number one role of a CEO or a founder in general, is just being the keeper of the vision. So for me, that's like the first thing is like, you have to believe in the story and the vision before anyone else can. And I think secondly, just to being a founder, it's like, a really big thing for me was like age, just because I was 21 when we started the round, closed it just before my 22nd birthday. That was a really big one to overcome because in fintech, the average age of like a founder is 44. I was 21, and then doing it in the continent of Africa, which is even more proven and understood. You get what I mean? It's tough, but I think, again, going back to what you said, like having a clarity of what your business does, and then being even stronger on why you as a founder, you and as a team are the ones to deliver that vision is super key. And then I think thirdly, just in terms of the Black community, you have to know like what leverage you're trading on to raise money. So there's 2 things. Like, first of all, a lot of us unfortunately don't build businesses that are venture scale. So we try and raise money for ideas, but then get upset. And sometimes it's not racism. Sometimes it is implicit bias, 100%.
Yeah. Don't
let anyone quote me and say I didn't say that. But if you are running certain types of businesses, it's hard to see it as venture scale. For example, a business like Jendaya, without the comparables of a Net-a-Porter or a Farfetch, etc., it might be harder to prove the value case. But now you can say it's Net-a-Porter for Africa as an easy corollary and be able to do the market sizing and say, look, there's a huge African luxury market, they're spending the money, etc., and it proves the value case. Meanwhile, like some of the smaller businesses that we have in our community are amazing businesses, and they are the pillars of our community, and they will generate wealth for people in our community on a smaller basis. But your venture investor is looking for something that's gonna 100x, 1000x, hopefully, their money, and so it's harder to invest in. So luckily for us, we were in fintech. It was again an exciting market to be in on the continent, and so it made it easier to raise money, whilst on all other accounts it should have been difficult. And then lastly, in terms of like leverage, being able to trade on things that you can use. So for example, I'm sure Ayo often, as much as it's fashion and it's cool, leans on the fact that he has a banking background and can show that like he can execute. As much as I was super young, I had the Cambridge, I was lucky to go to the right boarding schools, the same schools as the investors. So I used whatever leverage I had to build the relationships to be able to access capital. And it's sad that we have to do that we have to pattern match and we have to look like our white counterparts and have to go to the right institutions. But in the game of capital, it's about trust. So it's finding how you can build those trust and relationships with investors to make your dream happen.